Boys, welcome. Week 5, Power Rankings edition for Henry County Hard Knocks Fantasy Football League, Eric's Office edition. All right, so this one is going to be a lot different from the last one. Last one didn't deviate from the rankings too much. This one does. By rankings, I mean, standings. That's what I meant. Sorry. So, without further ado, we'll get it kicked off with number 8. The only winless team in the league is going to be Destruction 2.0. I had high hopes for this team. He let me down pretty hard last week. So 0-4, sitting at second least points scored in the league. He's had the most points scored against him. So it's one of those things that you're not scoring a lot of points and you're getting the shit kicked out of you every week. That's rough. This team, really the two keepers have severely disappointed. Kenyon Drake and Ty Gurley have not looked like, the latter half of last year's versions of themselves. So it's been kind of rough. Aaron Rodgers is on bye this week as well. Sorry, I'm looking at my computer screen right now. Tyler Higbee's been a pretty big disappointment besides the 3-touchdown game. So he's got a lot of work to do, a lot of catching up to do, Josh. So good luck in the future. But right now, number 8. Number 7, sitting at 1-3, are the fuck-ups. Least amount of points scored in the league, so not a lot of offensive firepower on that team. But he has had one win. He beat last week's number 1 in the power rankings. So good on you, Nick. Let's see where Mini Chapos falls later. But let's see, the fuck-ups. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been okay. I think he's like the RB13 or something this year, something along those lines. Once again, just bad luck with injuries. Saquon Barkley's out. We'll see how it goes in the future. And Cam Newton is out with the old COVID. So it's not looking great, but there are some pieces there. I think you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Let's see if you can make a push for the playoffs. Sitting at number 6, America's team, Doo Doo Butter, 2-2. This is my ranking, the ranking and the standings and the power rankings. 2-2. Really, the only thing I got going for me is running backs. My receivers are terrible. I made a mistake, y'all. I should have drafted a quarterback, I think. So that's something I'm going to put in the old brain and move forward. We'll see. I mean, Kenny Galladay's out on bye this week. Chris Godwin's has already been ruled out. So it's going to be a struggle for me. Hopefully I can maintain that position at 6, sneak into the playoffs, and whoop some ass. But we'll see what happens. At number 5, this is where it gets funky. He is actually, in the standings, number 4. It's Big Chill Squad, 2K20. He scored the second most points in the league, but he's actually on a losing streak, 2 games in a row. He started out all hot, 2-0, scored over 200 points both weeks, but it's been kind of downhill from there. The reason he's actually down a spot than what his standings say is because of, I lost my place here. Sorry, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. It's because of some injuries. Austin Eckler looks like he's going to be out for 6 weeks. Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams are both on bye for him this week, so it's going to be rough. It's going to be hard to win. It's going to be hard to stop that losing streak. Starting T. Higgins and Damian Harris in the flex, those are risky propositions there. He's really going to depend on how Kareem Hunt, how he responds to Nick Chubb being out, and we'll definitely talk about him a little later too. But the wide receiving core looks okay, looks pretty good. But yeah, for now, I should have said this earlier, I guess. This is more based not on your record, not on your points scored, anything like that. This is more based on momentum and what I think about the strength of your team. What does your roster look like? And like I said, that's why we got Big Chill Squad. We got Jason, number 5. Coming in at number 4, he's actually the 5th ranked person. He's 2-2. Is going to be the Dean team. So appropriately named because his first name is Dean. All right, so this team here, I really like this team. We got George Kittle back, and he lost his mind last week. He had like 40 points or some crazy shit. I don't know. A.J. Brown looks like he's coming back if the Titans ever, decide to stop being idiots and actually adhere to protocols. You get picked up Justin Jackson and Ernest Johnson this week off of waivers with 0 fab. That's all of our faults on that. Those are 2 hot waiver wire additions there. He's got a pretty explosive team, a pretty deep team. Deontay Johnson looks like he's going to be back from the concussion protocol. So I do like this team. I think they fall about right in the middle, on kind of the upper middle half of everything. So I got to take a quick sponsor break here. Take your muscles and your fantasy game to the next level. Premier Protein chocolate. Ooh, that's smooth. Not a sponsor yet. Moving right along. Let's go to number 3 in the power rankings. He's actually number 1 in the standings. It's Mini Chapos. He has scored the most points in the league. He is by far second fewest, third fewest points scored against, something like that. Anyways, he did suffer a loss. He's at 3-1. So the rest of these three teams, these top 3 teams, are 3-1. Suffered a loss last week, like I predicted he would. Just toot my own horn real quick. I got him down at 3 because he's literally only starting Rex Burkhead right now in the running back position, and that is super scary. Lost Nick Chubb, which looks like I think they're saying 4 to 6 weeks. I've heard from all the quote-unquote experts that it's looking more like a 6-week injury. Derrick Henry may not ever come back. They might just suspend the Titans altogether. So both of his keepers are out for the foreseeable future, potentially. And then, it's just based off of the running back position and the flex position. So both of those are looking paper thin right now. Obviously, his wide receivers and quarterback and tight end are premium, top-notch talent there. Moving along to number 2, and he's ranked. He's in the standings. He is number 2. It's VA Cowboy Kala. He's 3-1. Bryson's team is. I didn't think Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce were going to play last week. I was totally wrong because they came back and fucked me in the ass. That's all right. This is a really good team. I love the running backs. I love the flex plays. Will Fuller is a lottery ticket anytime he can go off for 30 points. He can also drop a big old goose egg on you too. But this is a really good team. All around, really good team. You know how much I hate admitting that, Bryson. I can't believe you're making me do this. And then number 1, this is the most painful one to admit, but it's Dindu Nuffins, Corey's team. He's sitting at 3-1, and Bryson has won 2 in a row, and as has Corey. He's won 2 in a row as well. Corey does have the least points scored against by a pretty wide margin, so that looks to turn around. That will regress back to, looks like about the average for our league is about 630 points scored against, and Dindu Nuffins have only had about 550 points scored against. So, but he is on a 2-game winning streak. The reason this team is number 1 in the power rankings is because he's 3-1, and he hasn't had Julio Jones or Michael Thomas for the majority of the season. They've been sitting on his bench. That is terrifying, that his team has been this good, and he has, in my opinion, probably 2 of the top 5 wide receivers in the league on his bench, haven't really contributed to his team too much. That should scare all of us. His flex he's got the 2 best flex players in the league, David Montgomery and James Robinson. Great wide receivers. He's got the old Scotty Miller, the new Julian Edelman, I guess. I think that's what Corey called him earlier in our text, so shout out to you. Josh Jacobs, Chris Carson are just freaking monsters, little bowling balls that just run over people. And Josh Allen has been like MVP level. So, man, this team is incredibly scary. I don't think any of it. I could see a scenario next week where, he's got to beat me. So hopefully, knock on wood, it doesn't happen. But I can see a scenario where where the Dindu Nuffins overtake that number 1 position in the standings next week as well. So I try to make this a little bit shorter than last time. Y'all can look at all my awards on the wall. But so hopefully y'all like the power ranking. Sorry I said so many times. I could hear myself doing it, but I couldn't stop. One more time, I have a little swig of Premier Protein. And let me know what y'all want as far as any ad reads in the future. You want me to plug your car selling business, Nick? I got you. Carlos, them homes, you slinging homes out to folks, to it looks like rich folks, but you slinging homes, I got you, homie. Let me know. I'll put it on here. And but I do expect some revenue from y'all when it comes down to it. Anyways, week 5, that's the power rankings. Hopefully y'all enjoy them. anyways, I'll be back Saturday night, Sunday morning for the matchup previews. Stay classy.